Hi, I'm Jason with Fresh Start Detail. Today I'm going to show you how to touch up rock chips on your paint. I've got 3 different types of paint that they sell you at the dealership. You may run into any or all of these. I'm going to run down how to do these in each one of these. Okay. First and foremost, though, is to clean the chips. So I'm going to touch up a few of these for you today and show you. But the first thing is you got to prep the surface. So just like painting anything, the surface has got to be clean and ready for paint first. So how we do that is with a lacquer thinner or any other paint prep type of cleaner, something that doesn't leave a residue behind. So what I do is just spray a little bit on my microfiber towel and just lightly rub it in the chip, and that's going to dissolve any wax or grease that's in there. Wax is common because people wax their cars, right, and then it jams it in there. So if you haven't already washed the car, which I should have said that first, wash the car first so it's clean, and then get these spots cleaner with the solvent. Now, sometimes you have to do that, make sure those are dry. Sometimes those chips have already rusted, and so you don't want to paint over the rust because it's not going to last long at all. So how do you get the rust out of there? There's a couple of ways. If you've ever bought one of these aftermarket paint touch-up pen things, and it's got this little white tip on it, you know what that is? That's to get rust out. It's the weirdest thing how it works. But you use it like a pen and you just scrape into the chip and scrape around, and it will sand out that rust that's in there. Now this one doesn't have much rust in it at all, but there actually is a little bit right on the edge here. And just be careful to not go up on the paint. And then once you've got that clean, so the rust is gone and it's clean, then you can move on. Now, you don't have to go buy one of these paints just to get this. They do sell these tools only. Amazon, not sure what they're called, but rust remover, pen tool, thing like that. So that's kind of a tip on that. Okay, so next step is it depends on what kind of pen you've got here, right? There's all different kinds. I'll go through each one. So this kind, the felt tip marker type pen. Get it from the dealership. This tip will be white. You shake it up and then turn it upside down and press on the cap and hold it down for quite a while. It takes a while. Don't get impatient. And you'll start to see the paint come through the tip. Okay, it takes a while. A lot of people think they're broken, they don't work. It just takes a while. Hold them upside down. Okay, I've already done that with this one. And then you basically just draw it in there. Do not try to build up too much paint. It's the most common problem by far the beginners do that I notice is just realize that you're going to put a little bit of paint in that chip and then let it dry. And if it needs more, you can put a little bit more. Do not blob on a whole bunch and then think that you're going to wipe it off and make it all flush and look good. Do not do that under any circumstance. You will end up making a mess and probably paying a professional like me to fix your issue. Okay, so start with just a little bit and steady your hand if you need to, and just barely paint it in there. You're just drawing. And then once you get a little in there, it's okay to just stop. If you think, oh, there's not enough paint, if you've covered all the surfaces, just stop. Let it go. Let it dry. And then you can come back and go, oh, I could use a little bit more paint here. Put a little bit more paint on, okay? So dab it on there, get some paint going on the tip, and then let it dry. Okay, so that's how you use these. This kind, if you get from the dealership, sometimes they come this way. It has a brush in it, like that. We've all seen that, I'm sure. And then the top here, there's a ballpoint pen that lets the ink go into that. And the idea here is that when you go like this and turn it upside down, now you can do a similar process of filling in the chip. The thing is, these work like crap. They might work the very first time, maybe a little to draw in there, but they're really tedious. So you can give it a try on maybe the smallest of chips, just to dab a little drop in there. But generally those don't work. And once you've opened it and used it once, it'll dry up and you'll never use it again. So we don't use those pens. So the brush, this is what most people use. Here's the problem. Way too much paint and way too big a brush. Okay. So what people end up doing is this. End up putting paint on and blobbing on too much like that. And then that's going to look terrible. And eventually it'll flake off because the paint's gone on up onto the regular paint. That's going to look just awful. Okay. Unfortunately, that's what most people do. Okay. So don't do that. I'll show you the right way. Notice how I can just wipe that right back off with my cleaner, my lacquer thinner. Okay. So if you make a mistake, have a towel with lacquer thinner ready, and you can just take it right back out. Okay. So a couple of tricks you need to use smaller is take the brush and do this and dab off as much paint as you can, like that. Now there's not a blob hanging off. And then use the sharpest corner of that. And watch this as I touch it on my glove there. See there? Just doing that, you can paint on just a little bit at a time. Okay? And practice before you do it on your car. And doing that, you'll be able to get in there. See how little fine spots I'm able to make by doing it this way? So by doing it that way, now you can get in here, brace your hand so you're not shaking all over the place, and you'll be able to just barely lay in just a little bit of paint in there. Okay? And then just like before, fill in just a little bit and leave it. Let it dry, come back and add more if you need it. Okay? So that's how you use this kind. There's another trick. These little brushes. Love these things. I got these on Amazon. And check this out. So if using that big brush is still scary and you just can't quite get it, look at the size of this. You can't even hardly tell it's a brush, right? But that's a little dauber on there. So what you do is this. Pull it out, get a little bit of paint on that little dauber, and then now you've got maximum control. I mean, man, I can put just the smallest little dab of paint on the littlest chips. And boom. Okay. So some other questions I get a lot on this is, does this fill the chip? No. You cannot fill the chip. You're going to end up with a chip that is painted the same color as your car. Okay, which means you're still going to see it. But by painting it, you're protecting it from rusting, and you make it not quite so noticeable to the eye. Okay, you're not going to make it disappear. The most common thing people say is, yeah, but Jason, can't you build up paint, build it up, build it up, build it up, and then it'll be level with the surface and you'll never notice it? No, you can't. Can't you keep blobbing paint on and make a big mound and then sand it off or polish it off flush? No, you can't. Okay. Despite there being companies that sell kits that you can do that, the results are the cost of the kit and the time, and especially for novices to try to achieve results any better than what I just did, never happen. Never happens. Okay. So don't try to do that. I mean, try, go ahead. Just my advice, 30 years of touching up cars. Okay. There are other professional methods that can be used. So if this is beyond, if I've blown you out of the water and you're like, forget this, Jason, no, I don't want to do it, then go to a professional detail shop and they can take care of you, or a body shop that'll just repaint the whole hood. But for this sort of thing, use these techniques and you'll be fine. One other thing, forgot to mention, and that is when you buy touch up kits, a lot of times you'll get two like this. You'll get the color and you'll get the clear. The clear, here's what I recommend doing with that. Garbage. Doesn't do anything. You will, by putting clear over the top of this, you'll make a bigger blob that won't go away, and it's not going to protect the paint. In other words, this paint is a single stage paint. It has clear mixed in with it. Okay, so you can paint it on there and leave it and you're done. So, Jason, why in the world would they sell me another one though? So they can sell you more. You don't need it. It's garbage. Throw it away. Whatever. It's not needed. So just another scam that they do to try to sell you more paint and make more profit. So that is it. Good luck.